Meantime, we are watching shares of CoreWeave. They are surging today after signing a $14 billion AI infrastructure deal with Meta. The announcement comes just days after CoreWeave expanded an agreement with OpenAI. Our next guest is bullish on the company, initiating coverage of CoreWeave with a buy rating, a $175 price target earlier today. Joining us now, Amit Daryanani, Senior Managing Director at Evercore ISI. Amit, great to have you with us. It sounds like you started your initiation prior to this deal being announced today with Meta, but in the context of CoreWeave, one of the bearish sort of pillars of the bear argument had been customer concentration. And this, along with the OpenAI deal last week, that seems to sort of answer that to some degree.
It absolutely does, right? I mean, at this point, you have the complete M&M. You have Microsoft and Meta over here, and hopefully you have other customers as well. Certainly, Sweden's the story a lot more, if you may. I do think fundamentally what's happening with them right now is demand for AI infrastructure is far in excess of what supply is. And, CoreWeave is positioned to benefit really, really well from having, one of the largest independent GPU clusters, 250,000 plus GPUs, that a lot of customers beyond just Microsoft and Meta, I would argue customers like Google and others could look at this as well to get incremental demand, because that's really what the shortage is for right now. Is there's not enough supply to go around for all these companies.
Within your note, Amit, one line stood out to me, and that is, while we can see there are a wide range of outcomes and the stock will be volatile near term, there's a higher probability that CoreWeave will be able to stay and scale their differentiation, et cetera. I'm wondering if there are many notes where you actually think about things in a probability, or if that's just the nature of this sort of business.
Melissa, I'd say it's really the nature of this business. And, I will concede that there are a range of outcomes. Near term, it all looks good, and certainly the stock is reflecting that. But eventually, right, I mean, the two things that I think people will have to wrestle with longer term on CoreWeave, one is CoreWeave makes a fundamental assumption in their entire business that the useful life of a GPU is 5 to 6 years. Is that truly going to hold up, or is it going to be much lower, right? And depending on how you end up there, it has a huge implication to the business model. The second will be, is this business going to keep doing well in a time when supply is limited, demand is great, and the minute supply for GPUs, for example, improves, is there still a value proposition, a differentiation for CoreWeave, right? And so I think those are two things that could trigger a wider range of outcomes at CoreWeave more than what we typically see in companies.